Hi everybody. I'm sorry I can't be in school today, so I figured, instead of just leaving you with hoping the sub can do something, instead of leaving you with just answer keys, I figured I would work my way through these answer keys and talk through and make sure that I can kind of give the usual commentary I'd give that if we were in class. So I hope you just checked over homework number one, and I'm really encouraging you talk to each other as you check over homework number one. Use the time as to have a group discussion and make sure that everyone's okay with the work. So what we're doing is solving systems, and the key thing with a system is we're looking for in these situations for where the lines cross. And right now we have two main, methods. The first one is a graphical method, where we graph both lines. Oops, one second. We graph the lines, and we see where they cross. I also say I left my Apple Pencil on my desk, so I'm going to try my best to keep my handwriting as neat as possible. I am not a professional at writing with my finger like some of you are, but I'm going to give it my all. So we graph the lines and see where they cross. The better name is where they intersect. Writing with my nails a little bit better than writing with my actual skin there. Alright, so what's the advantage to a graphical method? It's obvious. Because you see it. It's there. It's present. You see where the two lines cross. The disadvantage? Not always a clean number. Now, what do I mean by that? Maybe it looks like the point is crossing at 2, 4, but really it's like 2.013, 4.29. Like, you're never going to come up with that just by looking at the graph. So that's in a situation where it's going to benefit us to use the algebraic method, where we can do elimination or we could do substitution. Now I'm going to say the vast majority of time I do elimination. Very rarely do I do substitution unless it's blatantly obvious that it'll be there. So I want to look at 3 specific problems. Everyone's done elimination before. Everyone's done substitution before. I want to look at 3 problems that kind of will give us a hint on how to solve some of these. So the usual way here, we see this would be a pain in the butt to do substitution. So I'm going to do elimination. So I'm going to start off by eliminating y. So I'm going to multiply my top equation by 7, my bottom equation by -3. That gives me 35x minus 21y equals 154 over -18x plus 21y equals -123. All right. Not too bad for no Apple Pencil. It would be way nicer looking at the Apple Pencil, but I'm doing my best. So I have 17x equals 31. X equals 31 over 17. All right. X equals 31 over 17. Now at this moment we got to find y. What do? We plug in. Do you really want to work with 31 over 17? No. Who wants to work with 31 over 17? What should we do now? Double solve. Why plug in that fraction? One thing I'm going to keep always stressing to you is avoid working with ugly, gross fractions. I don't want to multiply 5 times 31 over 17. That's just never going to work nice. So you know what? I'm going to do elimination again. And by meaning, I'm going to get rid of x this time. So I'm going to multiply the top by -6 and the bottom by 5. So I'm going to get here -30x plus 18y equals negative 132 over 30x minus 35y equals 205, which gives me negative 17y equals 73, y equals negative 73 over 17. Oh my god, it's so much nicer. So much nicer in this situation. Why would I want to plug in and actually find that answer? Alright, so there's my answer. I can say in this situation that my answer is 31. Why not let me write? 31 over 17, comma, negative 73 over 17. And this is a consistent independent answer. It is a consistent independent answer because we get 1 point. So if we look up here, consistent equations, independent equations, consistent equations, we have a 1 point answer. Right? They cross at that 1 point. If we have dependent solution, consistent equations, we have an infinite amount, oh, it's a terrible infinity sign, infinite solutions. And it's every point on that line works. So it's not all reals. Don't say all reals. Consistent dependent is not all reals. It's every point on that line works. While in inconsistent equations, they never cross. What makes them inconsistent? They're parallel. They'll never touch, they'll never cross, there will never be an answer for that. Right, so inconsistent, I. Parallel lines never cross. CD, consistent dependent. There's infinite solutions, every single point works. CI, consistent independent, there's 1 point answer. All right, problem 2. Fractions. Listen, you can work this system exactly the way you see it. But why do you want to work with fractions if we don't have to? What is my trick? Let A equal 1 over x. Come on. Let B equal 1 over y. If you don't want to work with fractions, take a moment and fake it. Pretend we don't have fractions. Right, so what does that mean here? I'm making this equation into 6a minus 7b equals 8 over 15a minus 14b equals 21. So much nicer to work with. Who wants to stick with that other method working with fractions? It will work if you leave it as fractions. It's just not going to be a nice, clean thing to work with. Alright, so here we go. Multiply the top by negative 2. Nice and easy. I don't have to multiply both equations. Negative 12a plus 14b equals negative 16. 3a equals 5. A equals 5/3. Alright, now know what? I got 5/3. That's not a terrible fraction to work with. I can deal with that. So I'm going to plug in. I'm going to do substitution right now. 6 times 5/3 minus 7b equals 8. So that's going to be 10 minus 7b equals 8. Negative 7b equals negative 2. B equals 2 over 7. Not 2 over 2, 2 over 7. Alright, we're done. No, we're not done. Why are we not done? Because we're looking for x and y, not a and b. So using the information I've established already, a equals 1 over x. Right? A equals 1 over x. So that means that I could say, if a equals 1 over x, 5/3 equals 1 over x. On the other hand, b equals 1 over y. You know what? 2 over 7 equals 1 over y. And we solve. 5x equals 3, x equals 3 over 5. 7 equals 2y, y equals 7 over 2. And there's our answer. That is our actual answer. Now, what's the relationship between a and x? 5/3, 3/5. B and y, they are reciprocals. So you do not have to actually solve this every single time. Just know that when you get A, when you get B, the answers are reciprocals. So what is our final answer? 3/5, comma, 7 over 2, and it is a consistent, independent answer. 1 point is the answer to this problem. Done. All right, last one, hardest one, combo, a lot going on here. So right away, I see this, I'm making this into 16a plus 10b equals 46. I'm also making it 24, come on, right? 24a minus 16b equals 296. So that's the first way to help us out. The second way is to make these numbers smaller. So what do I mean by that? I can take my top equation, and know what? 8, 10, 46, I can divide it by 2. I could take my lower equation, 24, 16, 296, I could divide it by 8. By doing that, now I'm working with, come on. Now I'm working with here 8a plus 5b equals 23 over 3a minus 2b equals 37. Way easier. Don't stick with the original. Look for ways to make the problem work for you. Alright, so now I got it set up. I'm going to solve. What am I doing? I'm going to multiply. I'm going to get rid of, what do I want to get rid of first? I'm going to get rid of b. Top times 2, bottom times 5. 16a plus 10b equals 46. Now look, in this situation it's kind of funny. I brought myself back to my top equation, but it just happens like that. You never know. 15a minus 10b equals 185. 31a equals 231. A equals 231 over 31, which means that x equals 31 over 231. Just remember, we got that reciprocal. We flip it around. All right. Do I want to plug in 231 over 31? Absolutely not. So I'm going to do my double solve method. I'm going to solve by getting rid of a. So I'm multiplying the top by -3 and the bottom by 8. So that's going to give me -24a minus 15b equals -69 over 24a minus 16b equals 296. Straight down, -31b equals 231. No, not 231. To -227. Did I make a mistake somewhere? 227. Yeah, 227. Which gives me b equals 227 over -31. Which means that y is -31 over 227. Final answer, 31 over 231, comma, negative 31 over 227, and it is a consistent, independent, 1-point answer. Alright, hope this is helpful. It's some good tricks to look for. This is what I keep talking about in class. Everything we do, we want to find ways to make things easier for ourselves. We don't want to work with the biggest numbers. We don't want to work with fractions. Do things to make it easy for yourself. Alright, take some time, look at the homework that goes with this video, then jump to the next video. The next video is going to show you how to do a little bit more and even show you some calculator stuff.